welcome. Happy Wednesday. It's September 17th. I am super stoked. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Ladies first. Pauline, hit us.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see so many people in the chat already. I'm Pauline Narvas. I work in the community. Love that. Love that. Hi. Nice to see you all.
Is it my turn?
That is. Without further ado.
And most of you don't even know me. Like, who is this guy? Fantastic beard, mustache kind of on his lips, but that's okay.
Domitrius Clark. Go for it.
Domitrius Clark is literally the worst way that I've ever heard my name pronounced. But Domitrius Clark, dev ed at Netlify, community hype man. People don't know is building community doesn't come from platforms and all the shit that we're about to talk about now. It's like, do you give a shit about the people that are in your ecosystem? And like, for me, everybody in our ecosystem, it became about followers and it became about like, how big can I get and how well known can I get? For me, it was like, how do I interact with people that I like really and truthfully want to interact with and let them know that when they see me, I will be known in a room. Like nobody will ever be like, who the hell is that 6'4" giant hurling over themselves to get to Jason Torres? Support is the biggest piece. So like when you are building a community, no matter where we go with this conversation, as far as like platforms are, it really is about how you interact with these people that people are going to remember and give a shit about. So I'm Domitrius. Thank you for having me.
Dom, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. And I think that's why the three of us are here, is because we align with a lot of the values of what we appreciate in a good community. So I want to hear it from you though. Pauline, what's community to you?
So, I can already see some really great comments here. So Angela said, community is the people who advocate for you when you are not in the room. This is actually the story of my life and how I built my career in community. But yeah, for me, community is about the people. It's not the platform. It's not your events. It's literally the people that you speak to one-on-one in a group setting. It's the relationships that you build, which is every interaction counts. And every interaction I have with anybody, whether it's like just liking their post or sending a DM every 7 months, it's all of these things that add up. And that, for me, you start to build these communities like around you. I have so many different communities, not just from like a professional context, because this is what I do, just connecting with people. So yeah, I think that's without ranting, that is what community means to me.
Oh no, we're here to rant. We're here to rant.
We have
50
minutes, so we have to be good. And this is the hardest part when we talk about community, because especially when we start talking about platforms, we're going to be problematic.
Yes.
Before I even did it professionally, I was building like gaming communities, tournament organizing, and trying every platform in between here and there. And you start to realize that like, we're going to advocate and talk shit about platforms today, which is, fine. But like realistically, at the end of the day, like if you can't build a community, it doesn't matter the platform is going to stop you from doing X, Y, and Z. But the core of what you're doing is gathering people around an idea and giving them a place in which to connect. And so like the platform is as good as you can make it become, right? And so like for me, it's like community. I said it earlier, like it's how I engage with the individual. It's how they remember me. And every company I've ever worked at, and it's been 8 or so years that I've done like community across like multiple different companies. The hardest thing to get companies to understand is that like it goes through us first. Like I will fight tooth and nail to the point of like losing my job over my community, because like you can't put me in front of people to gain their trust and then I pull the rug from them. That just won't happen. Like I would rather be on the job hunt and figuring out my next move than to betray the trust in which I try to envelop with the communities that I do build. And so I think it's really just like focused on trust and like how much you're willing to show up when it matters.
I totally agree with everything you both said. I'm super bullish on the authenticity aspect, like genuine, like compassion and interest in the people. I think that organic, like feeling, like you said, it doesn't really matter what the product or the platform or whatever the tangible thing is. It's the people around it and supporting it, supporting each other's passion or interest in it. When did you guys see a shift, since you both have a little bit more experience than I do in the industry? When did you start to see a shift in community focusing more on like the ROI of it?
So I've been professionally doing like community work in the dev tooling space since 2021, but I have been building communities like almost by accident online since I was first on the internet, if I'm being honest. But yeah, for me, I would say like professionally, it was definitely in the last 2 years. I saw like a bunch of layoffs in the DevRel space, and that kind of sparked a discussion of like, oh, what do these like DevRels and dev advocates and community folks actually focus on? Like what's their return on investment? They go to these events, they do these streams, and who cares? So that was like around 3 years ago. And then, we like as an industry, I saw so many layoffs. But it's really interesting now. I'm seeing like a surge of rehiring for this kind of role. So it's interesting. So I would say that's kind of when I started to see that shift in the last couple of years.
For me, I think COVID changed everything. COVID pushed every company who was afraid of understanding internal community into needing it. And then you started seeing every company coming out of COVID noticing that all of the people that stood in COVID and built all of these communities now had them set and situated. Now you have a lot of them trying to catch back up and move into that fray again. And so I think, like from COVID till now, you've started to see that kind of jump for online communities and like what that means.
You did mention your origins in Discord are from way before you got into tech, because 100%. Would you say that Discord just for somebody that isn't super familiar with is like a gaming tool?
We had like TeamSpeak first, which was like a really shitty voice platform, and it didn't have really good like communication tools. And then there was like Skype, like I was on Skype forever. And then like Discord came out, which did a good job at like being Skype, being TeamSpeak, being like your instant messaging platform. And then like now they have like forums and stuff like that. But like when it first came out, it was just like a better place to gather to do the thing.
A better place to gather to do the thing. I think if we just look at that basic definition, I'm wondering what your thoughts are of Discord from a tech community perspective.
I'm going to let Pauline go first because I will have a different answer than I think you think I'll have.
Okay.
You go first and then I'll join in.
I just want to say I started a lot of my tech communities on Discord. It was actually during the pandemic. So before I got my first like professional community role, I actually built my own community. Fun fact, I was a DevOps engineer once upon a time, and I created a community around having more women in DevOps because there wasn't a lot that I was like connecting with. So I built this Discord community, and like I think within 2 days we got 600 members.
Jesus.
And it was so, I didn't realize there was like 600 women doing DevOps and infrastructure type work. And we had this incredible, super active Discord server where people were talking, sharing like resources with each other, connecting with women across the world. We did like coffee chats, debugging problems, and we just like did like study groups and stuff. And we just connected. We all just connected with people around the world. And it was the pandemic. We were all on the internet all the time. So literally 12 hours. 12 hours like on Discord, literally chatting all day, streaming all day. It was so fun. And then after that, I got my first ever role in community at a dev tooling company. And when they didn't have a community, they had some people who
they never do.
They never did. They were like, hey,
that's why they need us.
Yeah, they were like, this is what we need you to do. We need you to build a community. Where would you begin? And so we set up a Discord server because that's what I knew. That's where, like, for me, where communities were like hanging out, and I needed the platform. We already had a bunch of people, so I kind of just pushed them over. And funny story, we also had a discourse forum, and I actually said, let's shut that down and move everyone to Discord. And we did that. Like literally, that's what we did. So we moved everyone to Discord, and then we built all sorts of different integrations on top of Discord. So everything was automated. Whenever someone had an issue, it would link back to a GitHub. We'd create automated threads. Everything, like, it was one of the best Discord communities I've ever built. It was 10 out of 10, incredible.
The one thing that I like about Discord among other platforms is that the ability to use Discord as a data source is not heavily explored. Discord as a data source is insane work because you can build very many, like you said, automations, and like there's a lot of bot tooling that you can do that's really cool, but you do have to do a lot of work to make it better. And my argument is that there is none of these other platforms that I can do as much of that work to make the problem better. I will say one hot take. I don't care if you don't use Discord. Please do not use Slack. Stop using Slack. Stop.
I want to know why.
Because talk to us about that.
You can find so many videos of my lifetime in this industry yelling at people to stop using Slack. If you're ready to pay $5 a head for message history, be my guest. Your company is balling right now, because that is absolute insanity to me. Slack is built to be enterprise level communication. That's the core value of that platform. Discord, everybody says it's for gamers. It is for gamers, but at its core, it's a community platform for gamers. And now it's like got flashy ads and like all of the bullshit that has now come to Discord is monetization. I would take that over $5 a head for my message history. There is no other platform that you could argue has a better architecture to allow you to build the tooling in which your company needs. And I think that, to me, is why I will always advocate for Discord to be the first thing.
Love what you just said there. Very thorough explanation. And I totally support Discord, but I think knowing that community is a long-term action or activity, that kind of challenges what businesses are kind of set out to do sometimes. So how do you pivot that? How do you sell them on that long-term goal? Knowing fully well, a lot of businesses don't like to have that sort of a time to investment. Time.
You need to really have people in leadership who understand the whole point of community. And actually, that's one of the reasons I would say in my last gig, I got let go and my whole team was taken apart because they just didn't get it after a while. And to be fair, we pivoted the product multiple times, so it just didn't make any sense anymore. And I felt like the last couple of months at that role, I was constantly trying to prove why
I should even exist here in the first place.
Exactly. But like as soon as I joined Vercel, it was the easiest process ever because it was literally, I did not have to explain. People were like, yeah, we get it. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. This is why we're hiring. Yeah, cool. And I think having that buy-in immediately just makes your life easier. And
the best managers are the ones that aren't afraid to lose their job. That's what I've always said. Like
the
ones that are willing to protect and defend your ideas and tell you when they suck. Like, When I was, because I ran at Clark, I not only ran the DevRel team, but I also ran the support team for a little while. And one of the things that I wanted to do was like show them like, I will do your job with you. I am not afraid to spend 16 hours in a day with you in the support forums because we're 300 tickets behind. Like those people are, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to, I wasn't a part of this meeting or that meeting, but like the people that are willing to show up and help you thrive are the best managers. And when you find a place that finally understands it and you have that manager who's already put the work in above you into SLT, it's so hard to find. It's a unicorn thing to find.
I have to say, like, shout out to my manager, Matthew Sweeney, and everyone who interviewed me last year at Vercel, because they honestly just got it. And I didn't have to explain. And when I said, I want to run this experiment, they're like, run with it.
Yeah.
Go for it. And then I said, this is what I expect. This is my hypothesis of what this will create. Like later down the line, they're like, go with it, run with it. I had such a successful year at Vercel because people just understood. And they were like, yeah, I understand this is a long-term game.
It definitely is a long-term game. And I think that that's an important distinction a lot of people don't realize because, especially now, especially in the culture we're in, it's immediate gratification. It's instant results. Everything is now or it's already late. So we're hitting the hour here. This has been pretty sick. And I want to make sure I give you guys enough time just to get some kind of closing thoughts in here. But tell me what your dream community tool looks like.
Honestly, like over the last couple of years, I've been looking at all of the community tools and I've had very strong opinions of what the best one would look like.
So let's hear it.
Again, ultimately, I want it to be asynchronous and synchronous at the same time, where people feel like they're in a room, where they feel like they're in a room as if they're in a meetup. Yeah. And that's the first layer of it. But I want it to be so easy that people then, you can have like integrations with tools like, guilds.host by
Guild was like the first attempt.
Shout out to Taz.
Something way different than what people were doing. Yeah.
Exactly. So integrations with guilds, so then people know that there's also in-person stuff.
We tried to do that at Cloudinary for a while, where we were using Guild for our events, and it's hard to get people onto something like that. Yeah. But like once you're in it, it feels so good.
It's like it makes sense as well from like a community person perspective. It's like, oh wait, this solution makes sense. But something like that.
It really also depends on like where you're trying to position the product. If you're trying to position it for company-based community, then you're in a whole different ballpark. Like, you cannot make a community platform that fulfills company wishes. That's why all of these platforms suck, because their ideal persona swaps into what you should want for that platform. But I think, like, realistically, it's like, what is the persona in which you are serving, and how do you find a way in which to serve them best? And then that's where you get into, like, you know, Jason, your original question of, like, what do you build? Like, it almost is not something that you can cookie cutter. You almost have to build a really block build type of platform where your API is goated. Like, if you build a community platform where, like, your API team is just filled with a bunch of absolute monsters, like, then you're going to find yourself, because when you're serving companies, we'll fund a month of work to go and build the platform how we want it. The platform itself can be whatever, as long as it has that choice of the asynchronous, synchronous feel. If you made, like, Builder.io into, like, a community platform where you could, like, drag and drop in widgets and, like, build your own platform based on these features, I think you'd have a winner right there.
That would be
100%.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm going to end the stream. Let's keep this talk. Let's keep this chatter going.
You don't have to quit your job to start a side project. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God. I love that. Really fun conversation. Anybody that doesn't follow these two, you're dumb. You should have already been following them, but here they are. Please go check them out and check out Vercel and Netlify. Community
100%.
is not a number. It is a value.
All about the people.
That's right. I hope everybody got something out of this. I did. This was fantastic. Thank you to Dom. Thank you to Pauline. Thank you to everybody that was watching. Love y'all. Peace.